What if I told you a tiny silver-colored coin from 1978 sitting in your pocket change could be worth thousands of dollars and holds a hidden history that most Americans never knew about? In the vast and rich legacy of American coinage, few pieces hold such understated significance as the 1978 one-dime coin. This unassuming 10-cent piece minted during a transitional period in United States, history carries with it a story deeply rooted in politics, economics, design, evolution, minting technology, and collector obsession to understand its true value. We must peel back the layers of time and examine not only its physical characteristics, but the cultural and economic forces that shaped it, from the alloy choices and mint mark placement to the broader landscape of inflation, presidential influence, and numismatic rarity. This coin serves as a window into a pivotal era for America. The year was 1978. President Jimmy Carter was in office, and the nation was grappling with high inflation, economic strain, and the lingering effects of the Vietnam War. American households were changing, consumer habits were shifting, and the mint was responding to demand for higher mintage numbers while also implementing new quality control measures. The 1978 dime, part of the Roosevelt Dime series, continued the tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was honored starting in 1946, following his death in 1945, for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. But the story of this coin is not just about honoring a great leader. It is also a story of technological innovation, the shift from silver to copper, nickel-clad metal earlier in 1965, and how that change affected the market. The sound, the weight, and the wear resistance of every dime in circulation by 1978. The Roosevelt dime had become a household item, a coin so common that few looked at it twice, yet among the sea of dimes minted that year were pieces that escaped the average eye. Rare errors, unique varieties, full band strikes. Misaligned, dies no mint mark editions, and double die specimens, all contributing to the mystique that surrounds this humble coin. The Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Each played their roles in striking these coins, but each also contributed subtle differences that collectors today use to determine value and rarity. The D-mint mark coins were often more common, while Philadelphia dimes bore no mint mark, making some error varieties more difficult to identify under normal conditions. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions for collectors, and it is in these brilliant mirror-finished coins that we find some of the highest prices at auctions. Collectors and investors alike search for the perfect specimen of the 1978 dime, a coin with flawless fields, deep cameo contrast, and no blemishes. But what if you find one in circulation? What if an old jar in your grandfather's attic hides one of these treasures? How can you tell what to look for? The weight should be precisely 2.27 grams, the diameter should be 17.91 millimeters, and it should have a reeded edge. But more importantly, look closely at Roosevelt's torch. Check for strong horizontal bands, full separation. This is what collectors call full bands, and it can increase the coin's value exponentially. Also, check under magnification for doubling around the motto, "In God We Trust," or Liberty, which could indicate a double die obverse, another rare and valuable error. Some coins struck off center or with die cracks fetch high premiums in coin shows and online auctions, especially those graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC in mint state 65 or higher, while most circulated 1978 dimes hold only face value. A high-grade specimen or error variety could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and demand. But let us also consider the historical backdrop during the late 70s. The mint was preparing for major changes, including discussions around redesigning coinage, battling counterfeit threats, and improving production speed. The role of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing also evolved around this time, and the U.S. Treasury was pushing forward with policy decisions that indirectly affected coin supply. Inflation had devalued purchasing power, yet the cost of coin production was on the rise, prompting government scrutiny over alloy composition and die longevity. The dime, a seemingly insignificant denomination, became central to these debates as vending machines, payphones, parking meters, and millions of transactions relied on it for daily function. This coin helped fuel the American economy in ways we rarely stop to appreciate, and this is the heart of numismatics, not just the study of currency, but the exploration of human history through metal artifacts. Each coin tells a story of power, identity, memory, and transformation. The 1978 One Dime might appear ordinary, but it is part of a living story, spanning wars, technological revolutions, and generations of American life. As we continue this journey, we will dive deeper into collector tales, auction records, grading standards, the art of coin preservation, and how this little coin continues to shape conversations in both professional numismatic circles and among everyday hobbyists across the globe. As we explore the 1978 dime, we must understand that it was minted during a period of intense economic challenges. Inflation was on the rise, the oil crisis had shaken consumer confidence, and the country was heading into a new phase of technological and industrial change under President Jimmy Carter. The United States Mint had to respond to growing demands for coinage while managing production costs and ensuring the consistency of quality and design. The 1978 dime was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia dimes had no mint mark, which is important to know when identifying them. The Denver Mint placed a small D on the coin, while the San Francisco Mint only struck proof coins for collectors marked with an S. The majority of dimes from 1978 were struck in Philadelphia and Denver for everyday circulation. They were made from a copper core with a clad outer layer of copper and nickel. This composition, known as cupronickel, was introduced in the mid-1960s when silver was removed from circulating dimes due to rising metal costs. The obverse of the 1978 dime carries the iconic profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt with the inscriptions, "Liberty in God We Trust," and the year 1978, along with the mint mark. If present, the reverse features a torch symbolizing liberty flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. It also bears the inscription, "United States of America, One Dime and E, Pluribus Unum," which means out of many. This motto captures the spirit of unity among the states and is a cornerstone of American identity. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1978 dime is the presence of error coins and rare varieties that have captivated collectors for decades. Among the most sought after are the full bands or FB designations. These are proof or mint state coins, where the horizontal lines or bands on the torch are fully struck and show complete separation. Full bands are rare because they require precise die alignment and high-quality strikes, which do not always occur during the minting process. Collectors pay significant premiums for these high-grade specimens, especially when certified by professional services, such as PCGs or NGC. Another key feature to look out for is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been doubled, resulting in noticeable doubling of the inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These double die coins can fetch high prices depending on the clarity and grade of the error. Off-center strikes and die cracks are also common errors found in the 1978 dime series coins that are struck off-center, show a portion of the blank plancher, and can be worth far more than face value. Depending on the percentage of the off-center strike, die cracks appear as raised lines on the coin surface caused by wear and tear on the die itself. These too are of interest to error collectors. For most 1978 dimes in circulated condition, the value remains at face value. However, uncirculated coins, especially those in mint state 65 or above, and those with full bands, can be worth several dollars to hundreds of dollars or more. Rare proof coins from the San Francisco Mint with deep cameo contrast, flawless surfaces, and no blemishes are particularly valuable at auction. When we examine the production numbers, we see that the Philadelphia Mint struck over 635 million dimes, while the Denver Mint produced over 867 million. The San Francisco Mint produced over 3 million proof coins. Though these numbers seem high, it is the condition of the coin that determines its rarity, not just its mintage. This is why coin grading becomes so essential. Collectors use the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70, to evaluate a coin's condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Beyond the technicalities of mint marks, errors, and grades lies a deeper story. The 1978 dime is more than a coin. It is a reflection of American resilience through tough economic times. It represents a connection between generations, as coins pass from pocket to pocket through the hands of workers, students, veterans, and business people. It has been a witness to history quietly circulating during the rise of personal computing, the fall of disco, and the early days of the modern American economy. Numismatics. The study of coins is not just about collecting for value, it is about understanding history through tangible artifacts. The 1978 one dime is a perfect example of how a small coin can carry the weight of an era, the way it was struck, the metal. It contains the flaws it bears and the journey it has taken. All tell us something about the society that produced it and the people who used it.